Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So today in this video we are going to learn about what are changes and types of changes. So let's start our video. So in this slide we are going to learn about what are changes and types of changes. So what are changes? You see many objects around you changing from one substance to another, such as the leaves on a tree dry up and fall down, and melting of ice, burning of candle, changing of season, and so on. These all things are known as changes. So now I have told you about what are changes. So let's learn about types of changes. So changes can be classified in many ways. So let me tell you what are those types of changes. So first we have slow and fast changes, reversible and irreversible changes, periodic and non-periodic changes, natural and artificial changes, physical and chemical changes. So these are the types of changes. So come on, let's move to our next slide and we will learn more about these changes. So first we are going to learn about slow and fast changes. So what are slow and fast changes? So first we are going to learn about slow changes. Some changes take a very long time to happen. For example, formation of soil and ripening of fruits. They are called as slow changes. So one of the example, which is ripening of fruits, is just in front of you. Here we have a green raw mango here we have a yellow mango. So now we have learned about slow changes, so let's learn about fast changes. So what are fast changes? Some changes take less time to happen. For example, a glass breaking on falling or firecrackers bursting. They are called as fast changes. So here in the image I have shown firecrackers bursting. So this can be considered as fast change. So in this slide we have learned about slow and fast change. So let's move to our next slide to learn other type of changes. So here I have reversible and irreversible changes. So come on, let's learn about them. So first we are going to learn about reversible change. If you melt ice into water, you can again freeze it and make it ice once again. Or if you crumple the sheet of paper and straighten the crumpled paper once again, you get the original sheet of paper once again. These all changes which can be reversed are known as reversible changes. So this image we saw in our first slide. So this is considered as reversible change because here the ice is getting melted, and in our next image next to the arrow we have a ice which is freeze. So even a melted ice can be freezed if we put water in freezer. So let's learn about irreversible changes now. If you burst a balloon or tear the pages, can you get back the paper and the balloon back to the original shape? No, you cannot get them back to the original shape back. Some changes cannot be reversed. They are known as irreversible changes. So bursting of balloon I have shown in my slide. So this cannot be reversed. So in this slide we have learnt about reversible and irreversible changes. So let's move on to our next slide. So in this slide we are going to learn about periodic and non-periodic changes. So let's start. What are periodic changes? Some changes repeat after a fixed period of time. For example, change of season, day and night. These types of changes are called as periodic changes. So here I have given an example of periodic changes. So now we are going to learn about non-periodic changes. So non-periodic changes is just the opposite of periodic changes. Changes that do not occur after a fixed interval of time, such as cyclone, hurricanes, etc. These type of changes are called as non-periodic changes. So in periodic changes, the events occur after a fixed period of time, and in non-periodic changes, the events do not occur after a fixed interval of time. So in this slide, we have learned about periodic and non-periodic changes. So let's move on to our next slide and learn more about other changes. So in this slide, we are now going to learn about natural and artificial changes. So let's learn what is natural changes. Natural changes. Many changes happen naturally, such as volcanic explosions, rain, cyclones, hurricanes, and earthquake. They are known as natural changes. So let's learn about artificial. changes. Some changes have been done by humans, such as laying of roads, cutting down of trees, blowing up of balloons, breaking of rocks. These types of changes are called as artificial changes. So these both natural and artificial changes are just opposite of each other. Not fully opposite, but we can see some difference between them. The difference is something like natural changes are done by nature, which are not done by humans, and artificial changes is done by humans. So in this slide, we have learned about natural and artificial changes. So let's move on to our next slide and learn more about other types of changes. So in this slide, we are going to learn about physical and chemical change. So let's start. What is physical change? If you tear a paper or crumple paper, there is no new substance formed. It is just the paper. In some changes, there is no new substance formed. These type of changes are called as physical changes. Most of the physical changes are reversible, but some of the physical changes are irreversible. For example, if a glass jar is broken by falling down, you cannot get back the glass jar, but the broken material is still the pieces of glass, so it is a physical change. So now we are going to learn about chemical change. So in some case it is almost opposite of physical change, but we can see some similarities between them. So let's start the learning of chemical change, and then we can even see the difference between them and even the similarities. So if you add soda into vinegar, you cannot get the soda and vinegar back. So it's an irreversible change, and by mixing it, there is a new substance formed. So this type of change, where new substance is formed and you cannot reverse the change, this type of change is called as chemical change. So difference between chemical change and physical change is that in physical change, new substance is not formed, and in chemical change, new substance is formed. And similarities is that some physical change and some chemical changes can be irreversible. So this is one of the similarity and one of the difference between them. So let's move on to our next slide. So in this slide, we are going to learn about chemical reactions. So chemical reaction is not such a difficult topic. So let's start learning, and you may feel it easy. So what is a chemical reaction? When some substances are involved in a chemical change, they are known as chemical reactions. And the original product is called the reactant, and the new product formed is called product. So here in front of you, I have given an example. So this white plain paper is the reactant as it's the original product, and if we burn this paper, we get the ash left. So the ash is called the product. So in this slide, we have learned about chemical change, and this is all for my today's video. So we will end our video over here. Thank you for watching my video, and please do not forget to subscribe my channel, and also send my channel to your friends, relatives. This is all for my today's video. Thank you and goodbye.